Hey everybody. So I think it was Arkansas woodcutter. On my last video, asked how to connect your totes, and it's a relatively simple process. I will tell you, since finishing that video, I think the damage to that bottom tote has compromised its integrity, so I do not believe I will be able to vertically stack it. Even having fixed the problem, I think just the issue with that vacuum pool has just compromised the integrity too much. It just can't handle the pull of anything coming on it. So lesson learned, if you're gonna vertically stack your totes, do like I had set up on the last one the first time. That should correct the issue. But more importantly, if you have the space, this was an experiment to see if I could vertically stack totes and have it work. So, which I found out I could, but this logistical issue, if it's not corrected, I may have to do something else. So, things you will need to daisy chain your totes together. I use the same tool, the same supplies, whether I'm doing a horizontal connection like I do on every other corner. I have obviously 4 corners of my house. One, the water doesn't come down very much, so I just put a rain barrel under it. The other 3 is where the majority of the water comes off the house, and I have 2 of those 3 with a horizontal connection, and then 1 of them has a vertical connection, as you all saw from my earlier video, which is behind me. You'll see actually I disconnected the tote and it's starting to recover. Fill back up once I was able to pop the top and let out some of the pressure. So we'll see if this is viable for the future. But what you will need to stack your totes. Now, there's a couple things that I do want to put into this. This is a low pressure system, so this isn't going to handle a great deal of water. So if you're new to PVC pipe, new to plumbing, this isn't the same kind of thing that's going on under your house. You don't need to feel like because you couldn't do the plumbing in your house, you can't do this. I'm not a plumber. I've never been trained in plumbing, and I've never cut PVC or anything of that nature before these projects. So I can do it. I'm calling this Idiot's Guide to Connecting Your Totes, not because people watching it are idiots, because I am pretty much an idiot in this regard, and I was able to figure this out. Now, once again, the lesson learned, sometimes things don't go well as you planned, and that's homesteading 101. So, but things you will need a 2-inch by 2-inch converter. Now, these 2x2s, I forget what they call these things. Not Fernco. There's an adapter of what these called. You can find them in any hardware store. Ace Hardware is where I go. It's down the street from me. It's about 13 miles from me, actually. They have these at Home Depot as well. I just try to go to the little boxed. Of course, it's a relatively big box, but not as big box. So I try to go there for as much stuff as I need. You'll get one of these rubber clamps. Honestly, the reason I haven't disassembled it was there's a lot of gunk in it. It's pretty much solid in here. But you have this 2-inch by 2-inch converter, rubber hold. This piece attaches to the tote. Then you have your opening here. Now what you will connect into is you need a 2-inch to 3/4 inch, or whatever your PVC piping sizes is. I went with 3/4 for pretty much everything, just because my hose is 3/4, just seemed like a good idea. That's literally the only reason I did it. It's not, if you have 1/2-inch stuff, do a 1/2-inch. They have that at the store that you go in, your hardware store. You should be able to find a 2-inch to a 3/4 inch converter. It's the white piece. And I went on and got the spiral connection so it corkscrews in. There are those that don't have that, and you'll just need to PVC. You'll just need to use some cement or something to seal it. You literally screw it in, voila, your PVC pipe connects to here, or as your elbow joint, this, in the system that I have, you'll see when I pulled it off, I've got an elbow going up to a T-joint. The T-joint has a connecting joint that goes from my water faucet, which was probably the most expensive thing I had to purchase. These are not cheap either, by the way, to another elbow at the top. Now, this is interesting in that this is the newest one I just put in, and these elbows that they're selling now automatically adapt to fit into these connectors. Like the first ones I had to actually cut a piece of PVC pipe, maybe 2 inches, so it would have enough room to connect into here and connect to here. That's no longer necessary with the shorter elbows. Literally just connects right on in. There is some fabric tape or white tape. You can buy it there. That just helps with keeping it water sealed. You literally connect. You'll need to, if you're going obviously widthwise, measure the distance between your totes from width to width, cut it so it measures, voila, stick it in, there you go. Now, this is a low pressure system. I haven't set up PVC cement or anything of that nature that I've gone through and actually cemented these so they are permanently connected. So they do drip. They have a small amount of drippage involved. Actually, my chickens like it. They go and drink the water coming out of the dripping spots. But if I put the PVC cement in, it would fix the dripping issue. However, this was, version 1 was just the tote. Version 2 was horizontal totes. Version 3 was the vertically stacked totes. Version 4 of this will be eventually I will daisy chain and connect and make a quad, a connection of 4 or more. The reason I want to do that is some of these larger containers that hold 1,600 gallons of water, well, they're $500-600. I don't have $500-600, and if I do, I don't want to spend it on a big tote. The reason I'm trying to vertically stack these totes is obviously for space issues. Each tote holds, it stops measuring at 250 gallons, and there's the metric system, and I'm American, so I don't use the metric system, sorry. Roughly 300 gallons, probably completely stacked full. So if I were to get 5 of these, 6 of these stacked, in a cube shape, 2 to 1 stacked on top of each other, 3 in a line, I would have, roughly 1,800 gallons of water that would be held. And I've got a good local supply for totes that I can get totes for generally $25. That to me, I can get 6 totes, $300. 6 totes, 25, sorry. 6 totes, $150. It doesn't take a genius to figure out $150, 1,800 gallons of water, or $500, $1,500. If I can make it work with cheaper, I will. That being said, I think the one thing I would recommend if you're going to connect your totes, not all totes have the same end output valve. You'll see this one has screws designed around it, and it doesn't have a whole lot of filament to hold on to. Let me see how close I can get. I'm doing this with my phone because I don't have any other. But you'll see there's not a whole lot of connection here for this to grab onto. So that's really, when you tighten down that rubber connection, you'll just need a socket wrench. I'll show you what I used. What you really want to get is a tote with this kind of connection in it, where it's got a real deep backing to it that gives a lot for that rubber hold to latch onto. Once again, you have to tighten these things down something fierce before water doesn't find a way out. And all you need is a little socket wrench. I use a 5/16. I think it's 8 or 7 in the metric system. You just use that to tighten them down, and you start, when you get some rain in them, you just start it and tighten it down until you stop seeing as many drips or any drips at all. So that is how you connect totes together. You'll obviously do some measuring and some cutting of PVC. That's all in there as well. But like I said, I just wanted to show you all how to connect your tote systems together, because 300 gallons seems like a lot of water. 300 gallons that's a drip all night long. We'll fill up a tote. So if you've got a good rain like we did yesterday, I probably emptied 400 or 500 gallons into my pond and still had, totes that were, I still probably have 500-600 gallons of water that have been saved on my property from collecting rainwater. So you do caveat, you do want to check and see if your state allows you to collect rainwater. My state does. The reason that they don't want you to is draconian and stupid. The idea that your local aquifer is getting depleted because you're collecting your rainwater when most of your rainwater dissipates off and is lost. So the fact that you are maintaining it and usually putting it in somewhere in your property means it's actually a much better use, but draconian government rules are stupid, not based in logic, and this is one of them. So anyway, that is how you connect totes together. Hope it makes sense. And chickens go in my garage. I gotta close my garage door. So, all right, pleasure. I'm a smart human being, and I have 2 connectors to my garage door, and I always hit the wrong one the first time. So I don't know what that says about me, but apparently my mind can figure out how to do totes, but not which garage door I'm supposed to use. So anyway, you all have a great day. Hope you're doing well. Hope this video helps you out. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to share. If you have any other questions, I'll be happy to address them. I figured this out, and I'm not a genius. So be willing to try it, be willing to figure it out, and you'll be fine too. Bye.